Five, four, three, two, one. This is the Jazz 08, also known as Jeremy the Jazz Guillory, and this is the Broken Goalpost podcast. Um, I am not going into much detail on this. This is my fourth take, um, fourth or fifth take overall for this one episode. Um, had to change formats so many different times. Had to replace the chair for this. It's really getting out of hand. So um, I'm just going to have to go swiftly and briefly as to what's going on here. Um, so Kyren Lacey is a major um, person who has been subject to a lot of news since Friday, really. Um, and this story dates back to an auto accident that happened back in December, where someone was driving in Houma, Louisiana, and going way over the speed limit, like over 100 miles an hour, driving in the wrong lane, and um, allegedly had a head-on collision with a van where the driver was about 78 years old, and he lost his life from that accident. And Kyren Lacey was um, accused of being the driver of the vehicle. And back in April, while they were doing the investigations, they decided to arrest him. He was maintaining his innocence. They were trying to arrest him. They tried to chase him down in Houston, and he ended up taking his own life, sadly. And everyone's saying, well, he's clearly guilty if he's taking his own life, and that he doesn't need to be treated any more than what a guilty person to be treated on of in this situation. And the attorneys had decided to release today, or on Friday, the footage of the accident itself, because local stores had the footage itself, as well as body cam footage from the part from the police officers also involved in this accident. And the footage that they had showed that it was nowhere near the same model or make of the car that he was driving. And he was actually 72 yards away from the accident at the time that it occurred. And he was driving the speed limit. So, given that information, they shouldn't have arrested him in the first place, or even accused him in the first place. That was a major gaffe for the police in that situation. And what's going on is that they are really investigating as to what had happened in this whole situation, and it's going to be a complete, utter mess. Um, and people are saying, well, what if he's so innocent? Why did he kill himself? Imagine being innocent in this situation, but being constantly accused of something that you did not do, falsely accused, and everyone blaming you for it. Your draft stock is going down. You're being a top prospect, first round pick in the NFL, and all because of this incident that you were not even involved in is coming out, and you're going from first round all the way down to seventh to undrafted. And to top it off, you're being arrested and charged for this incident a week before the draft. Your life is being ruined all because of this incident. And you're not even going to be, and your life is completely ruined. You're not even having a chance to defend yourself on it. Your life is over at this point. And they're saying, well, he should just go to jail for it. You're telling a man to go to jail for something he did not do. You're telling someone to go to jail for something that they had no involvement in. And you're blaming them for something that they had nothing to do with. And with all the evidence that they had going into it, he was going to face life in prison for it. Doesn't matter how much it shows that he was innocent. And even if they did show up showing that he was completely innocent of this incident, they were still not going to let him do anything about it. They were still not going to let him get away with it. And that's not fair on anyone. I mean, put yourself in this man's shoes. You are just trying to drive home. Let's just say he's just trying to drive home. And you see an accident happen, like 3 cars in front of you. And you drive the speed limit. And you try to avoid it safest way that you can possibly. Bear in mind, it's a hit and run. And that car that hit him, hit the other car, just up and leaves. And you're just minding your own business, just driving right on past, saying a quick prayer, hoping that everyone's okay. Only to find out that when you get home, someone lost their life and it's a hit and run. And you're like, okay, you know, it's nothing that they can do. And then they say it was a Dodge Charger. And you're sitting here like, I don't know what they're talking about on here, because when I saw the accident, it was not a Charger at all. And then a few months later, they come up and say that you're the one that did it. And they're saying that, and all these reports are coming out at a time that you're supposed to be at the highest level of your life at this point in time. And you are trying to maintain your innocence, and they're just trying to snag it away from you. What more choices do you have at that point? They just took away a man's life, all because the cops did not want to do extra investigations and more paperwork. They just saw it as a black guy driving down the road in a Charger that's pinning on him when it was actually someone else. They did not want to look at any extra footage. They wanted to coach a witness into the accident and say that it was Lacey that did it. They literally made the guy say it was a green Charger when he said on the body cam, but it wasn't. I just want you to say that it was a green Charger. Okay, fine. It was a green Charger. Cops need to stop doing that. They should be charged. Any cop that does that shit, any cop that does that crap, literally needs to be charged with a misdemeanor crime or felony crime for falsifying police reports. For that. That should be against federal law to do it, if it's not already. That cop should lose his job for that. Because he just took away 2 lives. 2 lives. And if I was a judge in this case, I would sentence that cop by themselves 2 life sentences. One for 78 years and one for 22 years. For taking away both their lives. And the one that caused the accident should serve life in prison. Life in prison for this. It should not be like this situation here. We should not be seeing this situation happen at all. Why should we have a situation where this is happening in the first place? Just why? Why should this even happen? I should not be going in to doing a podcast about this issue. I should be going into a podcast praising Lacey for completing a 92-yard touchdown reception in the NFL right now. I should not be having to do a memorial on this man for something that he did not do. We should not, as a society, be pointing the finger at an innocent person for something that they did not do. This should not even be in the news right now. None of this should be. The biggest thing is that he is a completely innocent man, and it took about 4 or 5 months after his death, probably almost 6 months actually, since it's October, almost 6 months after his death, for them to actually say that yes, he's innocent. That should not happen. It really shouldn't. And if the police chief knew about what happened before he was arrested, and they saw the footage of that and saw where his car was and knew he was maintaining his innocence, that guy should have the harshest penalty of them all for it. He should not even have his own, he should not be employed right now. Because he's the one that would be filing the charges on Lacey. Those charges should never have been filed on Lacey in the first place. And all because he was black and driving in that same area should not have him be the scapegoat of this incident. None of that should be happening right now. You tell me one situation where it's right for someone to be blamed for an incident legally that they had no involvement in. Where it's right to blame someone for something that they did not do. Tell me one good instant where that should happen. There isn't. There is not one good instant for that. Not one. And whoever starts blaming them for it should be found guilty as well. I mean, it doesn't matter. The evidence is there. The footage is there. And yet people are still saying, well, if he's so innocent, why did he kill himself? One is CTE. But we're not going to talk about that right now as to the issue. The issue is that a man lost his life all because the police were trying to ruin his career path. They were not looking at him as a person. They were looking at him as an animal. As someone worthless that didn't deserve this treatment, any special treatment or anything. And they were looking at it like he did not deserve anything for this. And I'm sitting here like, something's fishy going on here. And, you know, someone that's not involved in it at all and seeing all this, it's not fair. It's not fair on him. It's not fair on his family. It's not fair on the people who just lost their grandfather. You know, it's not fair on anyone. Justice was not served on this event, on this incident. It really wasn't. Why blame someone who was completely responsible on all levels and yet blame them on something that they did not do? And when I say responsible on all levels, I mean would take responsibility of everything that they would actually do, and yet maintain their innocence on this. And yet you would see that, okay, if he did something wrong, he would actually admit to it. And he would constantly say that he's not guilty of this. This is not him that did it. He didn't do it. And yet he's taking the fall. He's taking the blame and losing everything for it. And it ends up taking his own life. That's not fair. All of those police officers involved in this incident need to be charged with homicide with it. Not just the homicide of Lacey, but the homicide of the 78-year-old man who lost his life for this. The guy was just driving home. It's not fair. It's really not fair on anything. Rest in peace to both. But I should not be doing this report. I really shouldn't. I'm going on a 20-minute rant on this, all because someone decided to be a dumbass and blame someone that they did not have any involvement in on this. And it ended up taking their own life. It's not fair. Nothing in the story is fair for the Lacey family. They buried someone that was completely innocent. And I bet you if they reopen up majority of these cases that are a lot like this, they will see that this person was actually innocent the entire time. are not even in the same building or same area. And yet they still got blamed, still got accused, still got found guilty, and they still died. I mean, it's not fair. Not fair at all. And we don't need that. We really don't. We need... The truth has finally came out on this. And people need to stop asking, well, why did he take his own life? You are the reason why he took his own life. If you're asking that, you are the reason why. Because he did not deserve this at all. Because you're still pointing the finger at him. You're still saying that he's guilty. You're saying, oh, if he's so innocent, why did he take his own life? Because if you were in his shoes, and you were being blamed for it, and you had CTE, you would probably do the same thing. Those voices are very strong in your head, and you have no choice in that matter. It's either spend life in jail or end your life right then and there. That is your main thing. That's the main thing that would have to be going on through your head. And it is not fair that you're doing that. It wasn't fair on him. It was not fair on the victim of all this. You just turned him into an additional victim. And it's not fair on any of it. None of it. None of this should have ever happened. None of it. Other than that, this has been the Jedi08, also known as Jeremy the Jedi Gillerin. I got nothing else to say about this coming out. Nothing else to say about the story. I got a little bit more to say about Mark Sanchez. That's going to be coming up in a little while. Thank you, and good night.